Dwight David Eisenhower was the third child born to David Jacob and Ida Stover Eisenhower on October 14, 1890 in Denison, Texas. His parents raised him in Abilene, Kansas. Dwight was brought up as a Jehovah's Witness, a religion strongly against war. He went against his family's beliefs and was admitted into an admired military school, West Point Academy, graduating as Second Lieutenant Dwight David Eisenhower on June 12, 1915. Throughout his time as a cadet, he was known more for his football skills rather than his respect for military discipline. Instead of being chosen to serve at the Western Front in World War I, a disappointed Eisenhower was posted to Panama. However, it was in Panama where he met and learned a great deal from Fox Connor, one of the military's most gifted officers. Connor encouraged Eisenhower to study the history of war and master in military organization. Without Connor's instruction, Dwight's full potential might have gone unnoticed, and this would have been futile in the shaping of modern America. In 1916, when Eisenhower was 25 years old, he was stationed in San Antonio, Texas. There he met Mamie Geneva Dude, the daughter of a meatpacking executive. Though she had several other suitors, he proposed to her on Valentine's Day and they married 6 months later. The couple went on to have 2 sons, one of whom died at a young age, and they had 4 grandchildren in total. In fact, one of his grandchildren, carrying his namesake, went on to marry the daughter of his future running mate. He was named Senior Assistant to General MacArthur in 1935 and was sent to the Philippines. On the Philippine Islands, his duties of taking orders and working with people led to his promotion and the title of Supreme Commander in the Second World War. And in 1942, Eisenhower's troops were involved in several successful invasions in North Africa and Sicily. He was also in Reims, France on May 7, 1945 when the Allied forces surrendered. When World War II ended, he received several medals for his commendable work during the war. Eisenhower returned to the United States where he was again promoted, this time to Chief of Staff of the Army. His diplomatic qualities developed as he entered the political world. During this time, Eisenhower held the belief that maintaining peace was key. In 1946, he deduced that the Soviet Union was not looking to go to war, so he attempted to retain an amiable relationship. He supported the United Nations' control of atomic bombs and did not agree with the first atomic bomb drop on Japan. He wrote, "First, the Japanese were ready to surrender, and it wasn't necessary to hit them with that awful thing. Second, I hated to see our country be the first to use such a weapon." After Eisenhower successfully served as Chief of Staff, he decided to run for office. Although President Truman pressed Dwight to run as a Democrat, he ran as the primary Republican candidate for the presidential election of 1952. His running mate was Richard Nixon, a senator from California. Together they won presidency against Adlai Stevenson by a landslide. Dwight became the first Republican in the White House in 20 years. At the age of 62, he was the oldest man elected into presidency since 1856. Dwight was also the only general to become president during the 20th century. During his 8-year term, Eisenhower allowed the establishment of NASA after the Soviet Union launched his artificial satellite. Eisenhower also achieved his goal to improve highways as he championed and signed the legislation for the interstate highway system in 1956. As his presidency came to an end, Eisenhower warned Americans about the excessive military spending and the danger of deficit spending in his farewell address on January 17, 1961. He disapproved of the government signing contracts to private military manufacturers, calling the issue the military-industrial complex. His hope being that an informed and alert citizenry would help decrease military waste all across the board. Eisenhower's service in the Army during World War I fostered his natural diplomatic skills, and those qualities led him to success serving as Chief of Staff of the Army and throughout his presidency. His legacy leaves behind several noteworthy aspects of America that are still beneficial to U.S. citizens today.